Let's jump right into this explainer because we're looking at a completely fascinating paradox about ambition today. We live in this world that's always telling us to broadcast everything, right? Every move, every thought, and especially our big, shiny goals. But what if shouting your goals from the rooftops is actually the exact thing stopping you from reaching them? Today, we're going to unpack the literal, psychological power of working in silence and why keeping those ambitions completely to yourself might just be your biggest advantage.
So does talking about your goals secretly destroy them? To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to look at a pretty amazing story from our source material about a boy named Arjun and his incredibly wise grandfather, Ramudatta. Now, Ramudatta was, he was that guy in the village, deeply respected. He had the white hair, the lined face, but his eyes had this intense confidence. When he spoke, literally everyone listened. Now his grandson Arjun, super bright, bursting with ambition. But as we'll see, he was about to learn a massive psychological truth the hard way.
Moving into Section 1, the trap of oversharing and the illusion of action.
Okay, so Arjun had these absolutely massive dreams of becoming a huge businessman. But he had one fatal flaw. He literally could not stop telling people about it. He was always like, I'm going to start this huge business, or I'm going to be a millionaire. And, at first, people were nice, they smiled politely, but eventually, the village actually started to mock him. They'd say things like, oh, he just dreams, or he talks way too much, do something first. And honestly, every single time Arjun heard that, it totally shattered his confidence. It just left him feeling completely defeated before he even started.
Feeling completely crushed, he went to his grandfather. And Ramudatta hit the nail on the head. He introduced this concept called false satisfaction. Basically, Datta explained that when you run around telling everyone your plan, your brain gets tricked. It gets this massive spike of dopamine, which is a temporary feeling of accomplishment. It's like your brain thinks the work is already done. You're getting the applause up front. But here's the kicker. It completely drains your energy and your motivation before the actual hard work even kicks off.
This brings us to Section 2, the farmer's secret, and some serious wisdom from Ramudatta.
To really get this through Arjun's head, Datta took him out to the fields to just watch a local farmer working. And while they were standing there, Datta dropped this incredibly powerful truth. He said, there are two types of people, one who speak more, do less, and others who stay quiet but make history. I mean, wow. That right there perfectly captures our whole point today. Real, history-making progress, it happens far away from the crowd's applause. It happens in the quiet. Datta pointed right at the farmer and told Arjun, look at him. Notice how he doesn't run through the village with a megaphone yelling that he's planting seeds? He isn't out there begging for early praise. He just works, quietly and diligently. He gives those seeds the water and the time they need to grow completely underground, out of sight. And then, he just lets the final crop speak for itself. The results literally do all the talking.
And then Datta followed that up with a pretty stark warning. He said, don't open your dreams to everyone. Some will help, but many will steal your energy. Think about it. Your ambition is a finite resource. When you overshare, you're basically rolling out the red carpet for skeptics and doubters, people who act like absolute energy vampires. Protecting your goals in silence, that's really just protecting your energy from all the outside noise.
Let's look at Section 3, the silent transformation, stripping away the noise.
So those words really struck a deep chord with Arjun. It suddenly clicked for him. The validation he was constantly chasing was the exact thing keeping him stuck. So the very next day, he completely flipped the script. He cut the noise out entirely. No more bragging on social media. No more showing off to his friends. No more grand, empty promises. Just work. He basically shut off that supply of false satisfaction we talked about, forcing himself to find validation only in actually getting things done.
He locked into this really methodical, quiet grind. Step 1, wake up early. Step 2, learn constantly. Step 3, work hard. And Step 4, learn from your mistakes. Do you notice what is totally missing from that list? Talking, boasting, trying to convince people who didn't even care. All of that wasted energy was now being funneled directly into these 4 productive steps. And the timeline of his success here is super fascinating. A few months go by and the village dynamic completely flips. Instead of making fun of him for talking too much, the villagers are actually wondering why Arjun is so quiet. He'd totally vanished from the gossip circles. He just smiled and kept working. Fast forward 1 year later, Arjun successfully launches his business and it just takes off. And the ultimate irony? The exact same people who mocked his loud plans a year ago were now lining up to ask him for advice. His silent work produced an incredibly loud result.
Moving to our final part, Section 4, the protected tree and nurturing your dreams.
Once his business was really thriving, Arjun went back to his grandfather. But this time, he was just filled with immense gratitude. And Dada shared this one final, really beautiful metaphor. He said, "Your early-stage dreams, they're like a tiny little sapling. They are incredibly vulnerable. If you expose them too early, the harsh winds of public opinion, doubt, and negativity, they can just snap that sapling right in half. But if you nurture them in total silence and let them build a strong foundation, they eventually grow into this massive, strong tree. Once it's deeply rooted, that tree can handle the fiercest storms. The world can finally see it, sure, but by then, the world can't destroy it." So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one question. What dream are you going to protect in silence today? As you're looking at your own goals, seriously ask yourself, how much of your own energy are you giving away just by talking about them? What could you actually pull off if you stopped chasing that temporary applause and finally decided to just put your head down and do the work in absolute silence? Let the farmer's secret guide you and let your results do the talking.